Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, and analyze, and simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Definitely subscribers since day one and recent subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much, for liking it up, for sharing, for collaborating, for tuning in the flash lives and collaborating there in real time. Also, those who tune in the premieres of my videos, such as this, and tune in real time and chat away. It's awesome stuff. I appreciate you. I have so much fun with you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Thanks so much. If you're a new listener, Renee Box Young, if you simply love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you. It's as simple as that, man. Definitely, this is where we chop sport of boxing because we love it. It's as simple as that, man. We don't complicate life. So go ahead and like it up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. Thanks so much. I want to talk about this, about Jake Paul. About this event that in conjunction with Eddie Hearn that they're throwing, that they're organizing, and I mean, this is awesome. I just can't find the words, man. This is freaking awesome. I think that the future of the sport of boxing is now. I've been saying this for at least a couple years, since back in 2020. When boxing was back, I started talking, optimistically saying that, these promoters, towards the end of 2020, I just don't remember which live session it was, but I was talking about how, these promoters are going to have to, wake up and smell the coffee beans, man. They're going to have to start organizing and, pushing good fights and great matchups for the community and for, fans out there and viewers and spectators to tune in and to buy and to keep the ball rolling when it comes to, the sport of boxing. And that's definitely what's been happening towards the end of 2020, the end of 2020, sorry about that. And in 2021, I think we had a great year of the sport of boxing. And I am one to be optimistic for those reasons. And I've been optimistic since a couple years ago. And just generally speaking, I have been optimistic of the sport of boxing, even though we're in the present era. Everybody knows the story, when you compare it to yesteryear, when it comes to the history of the sport of boxing. I mean, it is what it is, but there are things to be glad about when it comes to sport of boxing. There are things to be excited about when it comes to sport of boxing. It just depends on your focal point. Obviously, there's lots of things to complain about in the sport of boxing when it comes to certain matchups, when it comes to certain potential matchups, even matchups, for that matter. And fighters who don't go at it when they should, in their prime, et cetera, et cetera. There's plenty of that, but at the same time, there is greatness, and this is one of them. This is one of the, the great points, focal points when it comes to sport of boxing, ladies and gentlemen. And Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor for Undisputed. This is just amazing. This is amazing. And who would have thought, and who would have figured that Jake Paul was going to be in the mix in all this? Like I said, a lot of people criticize him. A lot of say, he don't know about boxing, blah, blah, blah. But I got to give him his credit. I got to give him his props. Look what he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. Who else would have done this? You know what I'm saying? I don't think Eddie Hearn on his own could have organized and arranged a Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Probably, but who knows? Big ups to Eddie Hearn as well. I've talked about this several times when it comes to this point. You know what I'm saying? I've also given props to Eddie Hearn because he's one of the very few, that's really pushing women's boxing. He's been doing it for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen. We've got to give him his credit. Even though, I know a lot of people complain about the zone and, Matchroom, whatever. It is what it is. I just love the sport of boxing. I really don't care what platform it's on. I want to see great matchups, and that's what we represent here, you know what I'm saying? And this is something to really applaud in Jake Paul and in Eddie Hearn for organizing this. This is awesome stuff. And exalting, female boxers, female boxing. And you know what I'm saying? Who would have guessed? I got to reiterate that. Who would have guessed Jake Paul would have came in here and done that? This kind of reminds me of Mr. Feldman. He is the, CEO, founder, whatever, of BKFC. It kind of reminds me of that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Jake Paul, maybe he's going to shine more in the promoting aspect, in the business aspect of the sport of boxing. And this is good news, and I'm going to tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, okay? But first, I got to say it like this. It kind of reminds me of that. Mr. Feldman, I think his first name David Feldman, in BKFC, the president, the founder, whatever, of BKFC. He was a boxer also many years ago. He didn't have a lengthy pro boxing career, anything of that nature. He just had a few fights, in pro boxing. But, he learned from it, and he made a business out of BKFC, down the line. And I've said it several times, ladies and gentlemen. I've said it when BKFC was quite new. I said this sport's going to launch. It's going to skyrocket. And that's exactly what's happening with the sport of BKFC. They're doing Knucklemania. They're doing huge events, ladies and gentlemen. Their roster's packed. Their roster is packed, ladies and gentlemen. And you know why. You know why. I've talked about this with BKFC. Check out my content on BKFC. You know, it's because they're putting the best against the best. They're putting tough competition against tough competition. There are amazing fights there. Also, UFC, same deal, you know. And I think boxing, you know, it comes from that. The foundation was more of that, the best fighting the best, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we're transition. You know, it's lost its pizzazz, I guess we would say. It's lost its jazz concerning that shine. What boxing is known for and legendary, you know, top-notch, or I'm sorry, you know, top-notch competition versus top-notch competition, more of that. It's kind of lost that shine, but I think it's going to come back. I've said it time and time again that it's going to come back slowly but surely, you know, and I think Jake Paul is going to be a part of doing that, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And it reminds me of that, of, you know, as Mr. Feldman was a former boxer, learned from the sport as a fighter, you know, and now he's in BKFC. He launched that company. He's doing amazing. I think Jake Paul, something similar along the lines of him. Also, I think that, you know, he has a touch of what pro boxing is as a you know, let's just be realistic. Whether you like it or not, whether you hate him or love him, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, facts are facts, okay? Him having a experience, whether it be very little, even though it's very, you know, small experience, limited amount of experience as a pro boxer. He's learning, you know, as a fighter, what the sport of boxing is about. He's learning about the business of the sport of boxing, and look what he's doing. I mean, come on now, ladies and gentlemen. I got to reiterate one more time, please. I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but, you know, facts are facts. Hate him or love him. This is amazing. What he's doing is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Pulling in Amanda Serrano and his promotional company. Look at he's giving a stage to a warrior who has deserved it, okay? And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, because I personally think that he's going to pull in Claressa Shields. Maybe not under the promotional company, but they're probably going to work together, you know, where he can give her an opportunity. Claressa Shields has long deserved an opportunity like this as well. And I've been talking about it when it comes to female boxing. I recently talked about it in a live session, you know, that, you know, the material, that the content that I push, you know, when it comes to women's boxing, you know, check out my channel. I'm telling you, I've talked about it for a minute. Maybe I'm not the best, you know, when it comes to women's boxing and knowing all these fighters out there. There are so many. When it comes to male boxing and female boxing, I don't know it all. I'm not a freaking, you know what I'm saying, I'm not an expert in it, but I have been an advocate when it comes to the sport of boxing, female boxers, you know, that they deserve more credit. And I've started talking about it with Claressa Shields. That's years ago, plural, ladies and gentlemen, years ago. You know, I've been an advocate on it, and I think this is amazing, and that's why I'm making this video about it. This is just awesome, you know, and I think that this is just beginning. And I think that Claressa Shields is going to be soon, you know, rubbing shoulders with Jake Paul, and I think that's awesome. You know, you already know the beef they had or whatever it was. I could really care less about it. I really didn't talk too much about it. I probably mentioned it here and there, but I really don't care, you know, because now that's squashed, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul expressed it in whatever interview it was. He said, nah, you know, that whole thing with me and Claressa Shields, that you know, that drama squashed. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he's, you know, he's doing it the mature way, man. You know, business. It is what it is, man. And he's helping out these fighters, you know, and he's also reaching out to, come on now, what's there to hate about? Come on. He's talking about, you know, making a union or whatever. I don't really know how he's going to do it or what his plans are, but he's talking about, he wants to, you know, look out for fighters. You know, I pushed videos on it. I've talked about it, you know what I'm saying, about the welfare of fighters, man. You know, they need that. You know, the pension plans or what have you, health care, et cetera, et cetera. Jake Paul's an advocate on that, ladies and gentlemen. What's there to trip on? What's there to complain about in this? No. He's doing some things that are, you know, making boxing better. You know, okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah, he hasn't fought yeah, no, that's a complaint many have. Oh, he hasn't fought a pro boxer. Well, he was going to do that in Tommy Fury, and y'all know who pulled out in that one. Y'all know who pulled it. That was going to be a legitimate fight. You know what I'm saying? That was going to be a really legitimate fight. But Tommy had to pull out of it for whatever reason it was, and I'm not so sure I believe in that whole medical thing that happened to him. Yeah, right. But that's just me, okay? Whatever. So check this out. I got to show you this, okay? I want to show you this. just to show you how big this is, man. You know, what Jake Paul's doing. And this is one of his few events that he's pushing as a promoter. Yeah, he's pushing himself under his own promotional company, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't recall, you know, when he started MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, I think it's called. But it's fresh, man. It's new. And look at this, what he's doing in conjunction with Eddie Hearn, being a fresh promoter. That's just crazy. That's phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. And it's so phenomenal, I got to show you this, okay? This is on, you know, Jake Paul's, you know, official Twitter or whatever. Link in the description of everything we're going to see, okay? I just got to show you this. This is how big it is, you know? He says here, pre-sale for Taylor and Serrano is closed and officially ranks as the, come on, look at this, as the second highest selling pre-sale boxing event in the Garden, the, you know, the Square Garden's history. Heck yeah, congrats, ladies. I mean, I'm telling you, you know what they say, you know, women don't lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, whatever, you know that phrase, okay? I'm not a numbers guy, okay? But in Madison Square Garden, you know, look at these numbers. I got to repeat it. You know, the pre-sales are closed and officially ranks as the second highest selling pre-sale boxing event. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want? We want the best fighting the best, and we want it to be huge events. This is exactly what's happening here in this event, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta give my props to to Eddie Hearn and Jake Paul, and I gotta give my props obviously to the fighters. You know, Taylor and Serrano stepping up to plate and getting it on. That's just awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's just awesome. And I got to add this to it. I'm going to show you a little bit more, okay? But I got to add this to it. Jake Paul, man, he's also talked about in the gazillion interviews he's been having recently in this whole event, okay, in the lead up or whatever. But he talked about, you know, he's a student. He's a student of the game, man. He was bringing out names like Hagler, Hearns. I mean, it's just awesome. You know, Hearns and Hagler, and, you know, just how he's been, you know, studying tape. And, you know, I've said this, ladies and gentlemen, just a lot of people don't listen because, you know, the platform's growing, but it's not a mega platform where a lot of people know what I've been saying for a minute. But the good thing there is that, you know, the content's there on the channel. Y'all can check it out and share it. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying for a minute, man. And I think I've been the only one. Like I said. And I repeat myself, man, for the sake of the new subscribers and new listeners, okay? Like I said, there are so many platforms out there. Maybe other people have been saying that, you know, that Jake Paul's taking some things serious in the sport of boxing. But, I don't know. But from what I know, man, I'm probably one of the very, very few, if not only that have been saying that Jake Paul's taking the sport serious. And he's showing it, ladies and gentlemen. And he's saying it. And I don't doubt, just because he's saying it doesn't mean it's true. But actions speak louder than words, ladies and gentlemen. For him to help, you know, to be, you know, in conjunction with somebody and bringing a fight like this to fruition, that shows that somebody's taking something serious. You know what I'm saying? And look at the numbers. You know, men lie. What was it? Okay, it came in my mind. Okay, like I was trying to say it earlier, but I freaking forgot because I'm not a numbers guy. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And this shows this is awesome. You know, this is just amazing. You know, pre-sales closed, second highest selling pre-sale boxing event. That's awesome. You know. And when you go, you know, here, so we see here also, like, you know, Matchroom Boxing. Okay, so link in the description and all this stuff, okay? So, you know, this is the official. You know, this is like the official. Now the tickets are on sale, like officially. I really don't know what the heck that means when it comes to pre-sale. I mean, yeah, in itself, the word says it, right? Pre-sale, you can buy them before they actually sell in the market or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Like I said, I'm not a numbers and business guy, but, you know, this is like the official, you know, launch of selling tickets now to everybody, to the public. You know, so now it's out. The pre-sale did amazing. Let's see. That's why I want to show you this. Let's see how the sales do now that the tickets are on sale. You know, as of you know, I guess as of today or yesterday, I don't know. But let's see how it does. And I really hope it does good. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I really do. And, you know, this event is so big that, and I'm confident it's going to do very good. Because the event is so big that you got, like who I mentioned earlier, Clarissa Shields. She gave props to this whole event, you know. I just don't remember in which interview or whatever. I think she was in gym or something like that. Mayweather gym, you know. Shouts out to the GOAT. She mentioned something like, you know, this is great. This is great. And I think, I got to reiterate, Clarissa Shields is going to be a part of this. because she deserves it, man. You know, and a lot of these women fighters out there, they deserve it. You know, Jake Paul. I think it was Jake Paul. He also mentioned several names in the sport in women's boxing. Also, he's a student of the game, ladies and gentlemen, and we got to respect that. We got to respect that. You know, he's not just complaining that boxing sucks and but he's coming in and being part of the solution. I'm telling you, and that's great for the fans, man. That's great for the fans. So it's so great that Clarissa Shields. This event is so great that Clarissa Shields is giving props about it. You know what I'm saying? Props to Jake Paul. Props to everybody who's, whatever. And Shakur Stevenson also, right here. Bam, again, link in the description. Jake Paul putting that, this is goated, a true champ right here. What is he talking about? About Shakur Stevenson and what he said. To be honest, I hope they can stagger the times for my unification with Valdez and Serrano versus Taylor for April 30th. Now, just real quick, I got to mention this. A lot of people are talking about, and I really don't know. I guess it's official. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, I'm not in the ins and outs. I really don't freaking know all this stuff, But this is what makes me believe that, it looks like the Shakur Stevenson and Valdez fight is going to happen. Hopefully it does. But like I said many times also, we freaking don't know anything's official until they get into the ring. They can sign contracts. They can do press conferences. They can, shout to the world they're going to fight tomorrow. But, until they get in that freaking ring, man, that's when you know it's official, okay? But from what I know, the fight's on, Shakur Stevenson and Valdez. I know a lot of people saying, yeah, if Valdez hasn't signed a contract, whatever. I hope... well, if that's the case, Valdez gets a sign-in, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. I have high hopes that this fight's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to say here. I have high hopes that Shakur Stevenson and Valdez are going to fight. And we got Shakur Stevenson saying here, Shakur saying that he hopes that, the times are adjusted to where, the unification with Valdez and Serrano, they don't run concurrent at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that everybody can enjoy these fights separately in their respective times without them overlapping each other at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Going on simultaneously. And why am I saying that? Because it shows that Shakur Stevenson giving props. And he wants, that's just awesome. You got people, in the boxing world, pro fighters, and a lot of people, fans, that are really giving props to this whole event. And I'm giving props to Jake Paul. And of course, Eddie Hearn. I've given my props to him. Even though I don't agree with a lot of things that Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn, I've said it time and time again, he blabs his mouth off too much, man. You know what I'm saying? He blabs it off too much, and there's a lot of things I really don't care what he says. But shouts out to Eddie Hearn and doing this and working in conjunction with Jake Paul to getting this fight in. This is just amazing. And I got to repeat it one more time. I think that this is just the beginning. The future of boxing is now, ladies and gentlemen. The future of boxing is now. And this is one of the reasons why I have been optimistic. You know what I'm saying? I have been optimistic when it comes to the sport of boxing in this era that we are living in. Maybe, like I said, I got to repeat it like I said earlier. Maybe it's not like yesteryear, it's not like, years ago when in the glory days, the golden era of boxing or what have you. But we do have great matchups. You know what I'm saying? And I tend to focus more on the great matchups and the things that I see. I just try to focus more on that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, sometimes I throw my rants and complaints sometimes here and there. But, there are more things. I decide to focus on the better things in the sport of boxing. And this is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of them. I cannot make a prediction as of yet because we still got some time. If I'm not mistaken, it's on April 30th, if I remember correctly, the fight, this event. And I just hope the best. I hope the whole thing sells out. I hope the freaking Madison Square Garden is packed, and that this really sends a shockwave to the world out there, ladies and gentlemen, and that this attracts more people in the sport of boxing. And I got to conclude with this. Who would have figured Jake Paul would have been a part of this? And remember, Jake Paul, he has a huge following, man. This is really going to bring boxing to a higher level, man, through people like Jake Paul. Love him or hate him or like him, whatever. But he has a huge following. And through his platform, through his, through who he is, he's going to exalt the sport of boxing. I think he has a genuine love for the sport, and that's awesome. He has a genuine love, and I've said this for a minute, man. He's serious about the sport, and he has a genuine love for it, and I think that's awesome. He's going all in. He said it in an interview recently when he was mentioning the names of the legends. He said, I fell in love. He says that he fell in love with the sport, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's hope he doesn't turn into, I mean, no one's perfect. I'm sure there's going to be some flaws in Jake Paul in the future when it comes to business sport as a promoter. But I think this is where he's going to shine the most, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, he's calling out Canelo or whatever. That's just him. Whatever. That's his thing. I think. But hey, if he believes it, that's what fighters should have that mentality, right? Isn't that right? The legends had that mentality that no one can beat me. Eddie Hearn just recently talked about, Canelo has that type of mentality where he feels, where Canelo thinks no one can beat him, that he's unbeatable. That's what fighters should think, right? They should have that mentality. I know Jake Paul, he's way out there and calling Canelo out, he's saying in interviews, I really think I can beat him. And when about 3 years' time, he's talking about he can beat him. But that's the mentality of a fighter, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he's going to really shine as a promoter. As a boxer, I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But as a promoter, wow. I got to respect it. And I think that this is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the reasons, at least, why I'm excited. Why I'm excited about the sport of boxing. I think we're going to see more of this. Just watch. I think, for crying out loud, Charlo and Castano rematch, undisputed. Are you kidding me? This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you. So, hey, Renee Boxing, what do you think? You think it's going to get better or you think it's going to get worse? I think it's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to see better things for the sport of boxing. This is awesome. I'm excited, man. I can't wait. Renee Boxing on the platform. We still be discussing, critiquing, analyzing, talk about sport of boxing, level-headed fashion. Definitely subscribe since day one. I repeat, new subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your support. Kings and queens, if you're new to this platform, if this is the first time listening, if you love the sport of boxing, this is the place for you. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. You know what I'm saying? Get the thumbs up. You already know what it is, man. Renee Boxing. Peace out. Stay safe.